Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make the ultimate steak sandwich. Not gonna lie to you, my mind is blown right now. You got that beautiful mayo we made, the prime ribeye steak, super juicy. You can't go wrong with this recipe. When it comes to the ultimate steak sandwich, there's three main components that I feel are necessary to have the ultimate steak sandwich. So the first thing starts with choosing a good steak. For me, nothing beats a ribeye steak. It's, for me, the king of steaks. I mean, it comes down to our marbling. This is a prime cut of steak as well, so you want to start with a good piece of meat. But if you look at this, we got nice marbling inside of the meat. You see all those fat striations. Another thing, when you're looking for a ribeye, what you want to be looking for is what they call the spinalis. It's this piece around that eye of the steak. That's the most tender, flavorful part of the ribeye right there. That's the best part. But when it comes to grilling up the steak, you got to keep it simple. And, you know, a lot of people want to put a lot of stuff on it and kind of cover up the meat. All you need, guys, is kosher salt. That's all you need. So today, guys, we're just going to hit this with a little bit of olive oil and some kosher salt. This olive oil is just kind of going to act like a glue for us. Just kind of let that salt adhere to the steak. Table salt, you could use it, but you got to be careful with it because it's a little harsher. The kosher salt, the coarse, is not as harsh, so you could put a good amount of salt on there. We're gonna lose about 30% of our seasoning that's gonna kind of stick to the grates. So don't be scared to salt this pretty heavy. Hit all the sides. Like I said in our last video, if you watched our last video, you always want to kind of season from a high because that's going to give us more even coverage when we're seasoning. Let that salt draw into the meat while we get our grill ready. The second most important part is the sauce. So I'm going to show you guys how to make a roasted garlic aioli. And when I say aioli, it's just fancy term for mayo. That's all it is. Earlier, all I did was put about a cup of oil. We got about 10 cloves of garlic, covered it with a cup of oil. All you gotta do is wrap it up, put it in an oven-safe pan, put it in your oven at 400 degrees. It takes about 15 minutes. Check it at 15 minutes, and all we're gonna be looking for, guys, is around this garlic cloves. You just wanna see some browning starting to happen. As soon as you see that browning starting, you're gonna take it out of the oven and just let it sit in the oil and come down to room temp. And that's gonna soften up the garlic, and we're gonna be able to get it ready for our mayo. We got a cup of oil here with our roasted garlic cloves. I also threw in a little bit of fresh rosemary, and that's just gonna add a little bit of flavor to the mayo. We're gonna hit that with 1 egg, with about half a lemon. This is gonna be our acid for the mayo. You need that acid to cut that fatty richness and give it some flavor. About a spoon of Dijon mustard. A little spoonful right there, nothing crazy. Just, you gotta season everything, a little pinch of salt and a little bit of pepper. This is all the components of a mayo right here. I got a hand mixer that we're gonna use to mix this up. If you don't have this, you could use a small food processor, whatever works for you. Turn it on and let it do the work. 20 seconds or so, we got ourselves some mayo. The last thing I'm gonna do for this mayo is we're gonna add a little bit of whole grain mustard. This just adds a little bit of body and texture to this mayonnaise. It goes really well with the steak. A bit of like a Dijonaise with the Dijon and the whole grain mustard. And you'll be able to see it there in the mayo, and it looks real nice. The third most important part for this ultimate steak sandwich is you gotta start with some good bread. So you guys, we picked up some nice ciabatta bread right here from the bakery. Take a bread knife and run it right across. What we're gonna do right this, we're just gonna hit it with a little bit of olive oil. Just rub it on there, throw it on there. And then we wanna turn this, we wanna make this nice and crusty. So we're gonna throw this on the grill. We're gonna come right here, throw this on the grill. Start toasting that up real nice. Smooth it around, make sure we're not getting no stickage. Now that we got our bread all nice and toasted, we're gonna go ahead and get started on these steaks. Important part when cooking steaks is you gotta let these kind of come up to room temp. If you take this steak straight out of the fridge, season it, throw it on the grill, by the time the outside is nice and crusted the way you want it, the inside is probably gonna be like stone cold raw in the center. So you gotta let this come out for about 30 minutes at room temp. That way that meat kind of thoroughly heats up and it cooks evenly. So all we gotta do is give it some nice sear, and then it's gonna be perfect the way we want it. And these are probably just gonna take about 3 minutes aside for us. We're going for a nice medium rare. They've been preheating for about 30 minutes out here. It's a nice hot day here in South Texas, so these aren't gonna take long. Since we just season with kosher salt, you don't have to worry about anything burning. So it's okay to have a really nice hot fire, ripping hot, and it's gonna give us a perfect sear on these steaks. We probably got another minute or so on these. We'll check them with a thermometer. We wanna be at about 130 because we're going for a medium rare. We'll let them rest and they're gonna be perfect. We're sitting at a perfect about 130. We're gonna take these off. It's coming up to that medium rare already, right where we want it. So we're gonna let these rest. We got this in some foil. We're gonna cover it up and let them rest about 10 minutes or so, and then we're gonna build our sandwich. 3 most important parts of the ultimate steak sandwich is good bread, good sauce, and good steak. So do not be scared to go generous with this mayo. Want everything covered. Now that we got this sauce all covered up this nice crusty bread, we gotta go with some balance. You gotta put some leafy greens on there. My favorite is baby arugula. It has a little peppery bite to it, so I think it goes perfect with the steak sandwich. Just get some nice coverage all over this bread. It's time to cut up these ribeyes and get this on our sandwich. Ribeye steaks are looking beautiful. They've been resting, so all those juices had some time to kind of redistribute into this part right here in the front. This is the part I was telling you guys about. That's the best part of the ribeye. It's called the spinalis. This is the best part, and when you're cooking, you get to eat it. Oh, good. So we're gonna take this first ribeye and we're gonna lay that on one side, and we're just gonna repeat the process with our other ribeye and put that right on the other side. We got a little bit of the juices that are reserved here in this foil from where they're resting, and we're gonna throw that right all over the top of this steak. Just a little bit. You don't want it to go to waste. Pour it right on there. The next step on this is we're gonna put some good cheese, guys. I prefer cheddar cheese, like a good sharp cheddar. So we got Tillamook cheese. It's a really good cheese. Triple blend. It's got some white, some sharp, some yellow. We're just gonna get some good coverage all over the top of this. And just throw the whole bag, why not? It's the ultimate steak sandwich. Guys, we're just gonna carefully take this over to the grill. I put our coals to one side, running that 2 zone, so our bread wouldn't be directly over the fire and it's not gonna be burning. We're gonna put the lid on it and just let that cheese melt. The last thing we're gonna put on this ultimate steak sandwich, this is the game changer. We got some shoestring potatoes. You can make them yourself. If you wanna make them at home, just throw them in some oil on a little pan, bring it up with your thin cut potatoes, fry them up, get them crispy. But if you don't wanna do that process, you can pick them up at the store. I used to eat these when I was kids, picnic shoestring potatoes. This is the game changer. It's gonna add some texture and crunch to the sandwich. It's almost like when you're gonna eat steak frites, steak and fries. It just pairs well together, potatoes and steak. Gonna put our lid on, smash that bad boy down, and you got the ultimate steak sandwich. Now I'm gonna cut this right down the middle. Look at that. Let's cut the sandwich up, see what we got. We got 4 pretty good steak sandwiches out of this. Look at this juicy, amazing looking sandwich. Let's take a bite out of this and see how we did, guys. Not gonna lie to you, my mind is blown right now. This sandwich is amazing, guys. You got the crusty ciabatta bread. You got that beautiful mayo we made. The prime ribeye steak, super juicy. You can't go wrong with this recipe. If you like this recipe, make sure to give it a try. Tell us what you think in the comments, and we'll see you next time, guys.